And I just want to introduce Vivian and Shannon. They're going to be doing our presentation. We're so excited to have them today with Michigan Schools and Government.
Us. We're going to respect your time. We know this is your lunch hours, but we're very excited about you being here with us. My name is Shannon McIntosh, and I'm here with Vivian Swiss. And we just wanted to let you know that we are going to talk a little bit about some careers that you can see within a financial institution. So I'm going to just tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a consumer education specialist. I talk about money. I talk with different people. I'm in the business development department. This also has a sales element to it. And I've been with Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union for over 11 years, about 11 and a half years. And it is always different every day. And I get the pleasure of working with people like Vivian, and I will let her introduce herself.
Thanks, Shannon. Sorry, unfortunately, my camera is malfunctioning when I have it on, so that's why my camera is off, but my picture's there, so hopefully you can see that. I am a human resources generalist at MSGCU. I've been with the organization 11 years this month as well, and I have held many positions within the organization, but currently as an HR generalist, I do recruiting. I do a lot of performance management, things of that nature, lots of different facets within human resources, which is why I love what I get to do. I get to do a little bit of everything and work with awesome people, just like Shannon said, as well. So, yeah. And then, Shannon, do you want to talk about the difference between a bank and a credit union, just to kind of give a high-level overview?
Yes. So basically, the difference between a bank and a credit union is we are basically very, very similar. Every single thing that you can do and get at a bank, you can do at a credit union. What I say is that banks are a little bit more for profit, where a credit union is not for profit. So when I go into a classroom of some sort, I talk about the difference like between Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola, or between Sprite and 7-Up. They're basically the same things, but it's how we started. So you can still get a mortgage, get a car loan, get a personal loan, get a credit card, do mobile deposit with your check, do everything that you can at a bank. But honestly, we might not have the technology the first time because we don't have as big of a marketing budget than the bigger banks do. But again, they're very, very similar, except for the grassroots connection, how we started, and kind of our philosophy of people helping people. So before I was a member and worked at the credit union, I was a member of a credit union, but then I didn't really understand it completely. If you work, worship, play, pray, live in Michigan, you can be a member of any credit union within our state. If you live a portion of your life in another state and a portion in Michigan, so you can do that as well. So we're really, really proud that we've really opened up that whole other avenue that you can help to manage your money for people who live and work in Michigan. So, banking and finance, your first thoughts and images. I like this picture because, you probably think, what comes to mind when you're thinking of banking and careers and finance? And, do you have to think of money all the time? No. Do you have to think it's all serious in suits? No, I don't wear a suit. I don't think I'm an especially serious person all the time, but I'm serious when it comes to my money because I'm serious about how can my money work for me and how can I help people to do the best that they can with their money and their finances. Do you just have to think of being a teller or being in retail or the front office? Is it just business or accounting? No. So when you think about that, like a lot of people will think, I'm not going into that. So a credit union is not really the place for me, or a bank would not be the place for me. And I was extremely surprised, for lack of a better word, when I got this position, because I honestly did not know that a position like this was even offered within a financial institution, because we only think of money. And it's so much more, because there's different ways to reach out to our members, reach out to the population, reach out to our business partners. And that's what Vivian and I will hopefully chit chat about a little bit today. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. I've given mine and Vivian's contact information, which will also be on a screen near the end, but please feel free to ask a question if you'd like, or you can unmute and ask as well. Vivian, did I miss anything? Okay. So what we
No,
will do
got it.
is, thank you. Today, we're going to discuss a little bit about, why a position or, looking for a banking and finance, what kind of departments and jobs. There is a lot of growth and longevity, and it's just something that you might not even, think about. But yeah, so we'll touch on that a little bit, and just some trends and how to get started, and just kind of what a credit union will do. So we're going to try to discuss these 9 things. And again, please feel free to ask some questions as we move along the way.
So the first thing you may be asking is, why would I want a career in banking and finance, right? So what's in it for me? What can I expect when I think about, joining a financial institution and a career in a financial institution? So you have the ability to help people with their life milestones. So whether it's their first car purchase, their first home, second home, third home, marriage, children, college, estate planning, business, all these life altering changes that happen in a person's world. It's really about the adulting, for a lack of a better word, but all the adult things that somebody goes through, whether it's good, bad, and the ugly. We're all about people helping people. That is our philosophy as a credit union. And credit unions in general fall under that philosophy of people helping people. And it's truly a way to make an impact on someone's life. And if you think about what keeps you up at night, a lot of times finances are a big indicator of that, whether it's, how am I going to make my next mortgage payment or car payment or credit card payment, or when it's, through a marriage. And those are the things that people typically argue about or fight about, is finances. So a lot of weight is put on health and, in general, stability when it comes to finances. So there's a lot that comes beyond just the dollar bill. We want to help people make good choices. We want to be part of that. We want to make our members be financially successful. And when our members and our communities are successful, then we're all successful. Again, like Shannon mentioned, we are not for profit. So any profit that we do receive, we put back into the organization. So we're able to help more members. So we're able to continue the growth within the community and help support our community, because as I mentioned, when our community around us is successful and our members are successful and their families are successful, that helps drive in our own success as well. Screen freezes a little bit here.
Thank you. So Vivian's correct. So we really pride ourselves on being part of the community. And we are a growing credit union, and we have had a 5-star rating with Bauer Financial for over 20 plus years, and that's actually helped us grow. And I'm just showcasing our main office, or our main branch. This is in Clinton Township, and this is the main branch because our accounting department is there, and that's what makes different branches, that's what makes this the main branch. But this is where our executives are, our boardroom, our board of directors meet here, and all of these departments are within or housed in this one branch. So yes, you can walk in and our branch is there, and our PO boxes are there. Correct, Vivian, right? I'm looking at I'm thinking of, yes, sorry, safety deposit box. I couldn't remember. Thank you. I could just see them.
Okay.
And that's where these are. Thank you. And so this is where accounting is. And then within accounting, so if you weren't into just accounting, you could be into fraud or risk management. This is another huge department that we have, as you can even imagine, with everything going on and all of those different things. So if you have a different type of skill set where, yes, maybe you like analysis, or you're really organized, or you want to problem solve, right? You don't necessarily have to just be an accountant or an auditor or something like that. You can go into fraud or risk management because there's a different set of skills there. Also, this is where our IT department is, and we have different departments within our IT department or our IS department. Different companies call them different things, either information technology or information systems. But we have so many different departments within that. So if you are into the computer, area and you like that, there's so many different avenues that you can do within a credit union or within a financial institution. So we really look for those people to be on the forefront. And a lot of times we don't really work in silos. So fraud and risk management will also work with some of the other departments, for example. Our branch operations is there. And so that's, kind of what's going on in the background. Yes, they work with our retail that you might see day to day, but also if you have those types of questions and stuff, those types of questions may go up to our branch ops or our branch operations. They literally have to know how the whole company works from the inside out, because you never know if something is, not perfect on the front line or on the back line or with iChat or like a digital branch or anything like that. Branch ops does help. Records we have to maintain legally for so many years. And so we have different records departments, and they know everything. They have to have access to everything. If anyone has any question and can't find it, records will find it. So they are literally the keepers of all of the information for all of our members for however many years we have to be that. So I actually sit by some of the records team, and it is amazing what they know, what they do, and how organized they have to be. They have to be extremely resourceful and extremely diligent. We have vendor management. There's so many different things going on, even within IT and within branch ops, that we have to work with some outside vendors for different security and for other expert analysis. We do a lot of virtual products and services. And so that's like another offshoot of even the IT or IS, because remote deposit capture is coming on, and then we have our online, and then we have this. So as the world is changing, we are changing and growing with it, because that's how you stay relevant, and that's how you keep a great member service, rating. And so that's what we really want to do. And then we have business lending, which is obviously a little bit different from you and I, wanting loans for certain things. So we're really trying to help small businesses in our communities. And so we have that department too. So many times when you see all of these, and Vivian, works with all of these in human resources, it's kind of eye-opening, because you might only see the front office, but it's kind of like the tip of the iceberg. There's so much going on behind the scenes and below that you might not even realize. Again, if anyone has any questions, please let me know. And that's just our main office. And then we have our Troy branch, which has a whole nother set. My desk is in our Troy branch, and this is where human resources is. So I sit near Vivian, and this is where mortgages are. So all of our underwriters and all of those people processing and just all of that information that's there. And that's a huge department. Our repayments, we really try to help people. So when people call in and they might have a situation or a challenge, we are not the first people to say, you know what, we're not going to try to help you. I actually sat by repayments when I started, and it was very eye-opening. All of the information they have to know, how they have to look at things, how they can help people. So again, if you are a problem solver, if you want to teach people, repayments might be for you. Facilities is all of our new branches, everything that's opening. So you're talking about project management and construction trades and all of that. You need to know that. So it's all of our new branches being built, and it's all of the branches just continually upkeeping them, helping our retail branches. How do they look? How are they safe? So many different things. And there's a security aspect that goes into that as well that you might not realize. Marketing, I've also worked very closely with marketing, and they do internal and external. So there's all internal communications, and then there's external communications. There are people that would just work on the campaigns. There's people that do all of the analysis of, is this campaign working? How does that work? How do we change it? What do we do? And so it is amazing how big our marketing department is. Do you just want to do the social media aspect? Do you just want to do the logos? Do you just want to do the print? It is utterly amazing how many facets within a marketing degree in a department that you can have. I was not aware of that. You can be a writer, and work with marketing. So it's just amazing. I work in community relations with business development and consumer education. And so we are going to events. So if you want to be an event planner, if you like to be out in the community, if you like to talk to people, this is what you would do. You are a teacher. You are part of the knowledge. You have to know, what are we doing and how can we help? You have to be able to answer questions. You have to be able to think on your feet. So that's kind of what we do. You're part trainer as well, because you are answering questions for people and trying to help them to make the best choice. And I do not know all the information, but I have a great team of people back at these branches and offices that can help them as well. Our call center, I worked in call center for a little bit as well, and it is amazing every type of question that they get. So if you are a problem solver, if you are thinking on your feet, if you are creative, if you can multitask, call center is for you. And you're literally helping people with their finances, with their money, with their questions. And that is very personal to them. So you are kind of even part counselor, if you want to throw that in. You really have to know, what are you listening for? How can you help people? And so that's why I love that our philosophy is people helping people. Yes, we deal with money, but we are truly trying to help our members be the best that they can be, so that we can all just kind of help out the communities that we serve. And we are a growing industry. Excuse me. So again, we promote from within. So Vivian and I have been there fairly long, not as long as some people, but we have a 44% internal mobility rate. And so I love that about our institution. It is very stable. We had no layoffs during the recession, and we are one of the largest credit unions in Michigan. I'm very proud of that. We have a 95% satisfaction rating, and we've had that for over 20 years, and we have over 135,000 members, and we are over $3 billion in assets. We have 19 plus branches, and we are growing in different communities. So we know that literally talking to people, helping people, trying to do the best for you, that's what makes me want to go to work every day. That's what gets me up. That's what makes me want to be a better person, because I know that I don't know everything, but I'm here to help people who are asking for it. And I really think that that's a big thing. Vivian will talk a little bit more, but we do have great health and retirement benefits, which is a plus and a perk. And we have great work-life balance. We do get holidays off, and I do enjoy the number of PTO that we do get. And it's nice because, yes, you need to take care of yourself and you need a break sometimes too. And so I just really appreciate that, a work-life balance for my family and things of that nature. And so I think it's a great place to work and to start. Not just, like we said, a math person per se.
So, thinking about what's going to be the right fit for you in terms of a career, in terms of long-term future, there's always that monetary piece. What am I going to make every year? What am I going to make every month? I want to know that bottom dollar, but there's also very things to consider as well. So, what kind of benefits are in it for you? Health insurance benefits, What kind of retirement plans do they offer? 401ks? Do they match? Do they have a contribution as well? So I've done hundreds and hundreds of phone interviews, and I can share that MSGSU's 401k matching contribution is unmatched. We may have some institutions that come a little bit close, but no one really has a contribution and a match offering the way that we do. Some additional benefits to think about and take into consideration are, do they value your education? Do they offer tuition reimbursement for degrees and certifications? And then also that work-life balance piece is also equally important. You are only going to do your best work when you're your best self. And you need to take time away and do what's important to you and balance your personal life with your work life. So what type of paid time off offering do they have? Do you earn more PTO as your years of service increase as well? Do they offer vacation time and sick time, or just, one-time bank where you can use it for whatever you need and it's not restricted? What kind of paid holidays do you receive, if you receive any? And then what kind of options do you do? Is there a flexible work life where you can have a hybrid option for some positions? Or is it a very restricted schedule? So all of these things are non-monetary necessarily. They're not your hourly rate. It's not your annual rate that you're going to receive as a salary, but they're very important pieces to take into consideration when you're looking for the right fit for you. Because not every organization, not every company, not all financial institutions are even going to offer the same thing across the board. And all of these things weigh some weight and capacity monetarily, but it may not be cash money as you're thinking about it. So these are all very important things to take into consideration when you're weighing your options for a long-term career or a career in general, or even a job in general, that you're not maybe necessarily looking at a career, but just a temporary opportunity for you right then and there. So very important to think about. When we think about stability and growth and innovation, flexibility, benefits, all of the meaningfulness of the work that you get to do, all of that plays into a factor with how long people have stayed within our organization. So you can see almost 50% of people stay in the industry for 5 or more years. About 10% stay within the organization about 15 years plus. Between 10 and 15 years, we have 11%. Between 5 and 10 years, we're at 26%. 3 and 5 years is 13%. 1 to 3 years is 23%. And 6 to 12 months is 10%. And less than 6 months is 7%. So you can see that we have pretty good longevity as people join the organization. They tend to stay at least 1 to 3 years, if not between 5 and 10 years. And then even our 10 to 15 year range is pretty high for industry standards. So a lot of people join the organization and tend not to leave. I am one, Shannon is one. We've been to the organization now for 11 years, so we are in that 10 to 15 range.
Vivian, can I just jump in really quick before you go to income? One thing that I do want to mention is professional development as well. Many times financial institutions will give you a certification even within. So I am a certified credit union financial counselor. And obviously they let me, they encouraged me to go through that program, and they took on that cost, and I was able to get that certification. They do that a lot. And then there's a company-wide announcement, Vivian's a certified credit union financial counselor, Shannon is. And so even within the different departments, there is a professional development that institutions do take pride in giving that to you as well. So that's just something that's kind of nice. It's not stagnant. And I think that's another component of why people do stay, because it is always changing. So you're not feeling like you're doing the same thing all of the time.
Absolutely. Great point, Shannon. So some salary data to consider, of course, those in the non-monetary options are important, but also important is, what kind of salary can you anticipate to make? So many things go into salary and income. So these numbers don't include any company, organization match, PTO, tuition reimbursement, promotion opportunities, things like that are not monetary. You can see over $100,000 salary, about 8%, and we can say, a few of these positions are within that $100,000 bracket. We're thinking executive departments, things like that. Between the 50,000 to 100,000 range, about 44%. Depends on the position, the department that you're in, degree, things of that nature to consider that. And the 30 to 50,000, about 48%. You have part-time, full-time options in there. Those are starting kind of ranges of where you can anticipate starting your career at and having that opportunity to grow into the higher level salary bands. So Shannon and I talked a little bit about our kind of journeys and the positions that we currently are in. I'll share a little bit about my background. This is the third job I've ever had in my career. I started as a part-time teller. I never worked in a financial institution before. I was working on my degree, actually, while I was starting out my position as a part-time teller. I loved it. I knew I wanted to be here long term. I became a full-time teller. I became a member service representative. I was promoted to a branch service specialist. I became an assistant branch manager, a branch manager, and now I'm in our human resources department. So I've been able to build upon skills, get a really solid foundation, build upon what I know from retail, and take that information into our human resources department. And a lot of times people don't think or see the connection of, well, in the branches, you did one completely different job. And now in your human resources, you're doing a whole different thing. So how do those even match up? And they do. You have a lot of transferable skills you're building upon. So even if you're starting, quote unquote, at the bottom as a teller, you are building skills, and those skills you're able to carry those over into multiple different opportunities within the organization. So different positions have different requirements, different minimum expectations. So as a teller, you need to have 6 months of cash handling and a high school diploma. For a branch service specialist, you need 6 months of cash handling, high school diploma, and either 2 years of retail sales or a degree, or, there's multiple different requirements for each position. So those are all things to consider. And then thinking beyond retail, moving over into consumer education, where Shannon is a different requirement than moving into marketing, than to moving into our lending department. So all of these positions don't necessarily need a business degree, don't necessarily need an accounting degree or finance degree. Where you can go really just depends on where your passions are and where your desires are. My background is in business, but not in human resources. It was focused in management. So moving over into human resources was a different realm for me, but I was able to take those skills into this human resources position and continue to grow in my skills and my own development. And I'll let Shannon talk a little bit about her background and her growth.
I started in consumer education. I was the first specialist hired for a completely new department and position. I've been there 11 years. I have a master's in English literature and linguistics, so it's far from math that you could possibly be. But I love it. So what I bring here, I did work at General Motors for a while in purchasing, and then I worked at Macomb Community College as an adjunct of English for a while. And what happened was I get to bring my passion for teaching and training and listening and just being out in the community to what I do. So I have to be able to read something fairly quickly and write a synopsis and then teach that synopsis or answer the right questions given a synopsis for who I'm talking to or communicating with to get either answer their questions or get them to the right person or just to get to the next level. So a lot of times it's just being very open and listening, but also knowing the products, knowing some basics, so that I can ask the right questions and have a different conversation. I have to be up on current events. I have to be up on local current events as well, because you never know who you're going to meet. You never know what you're going to talk about. I am part event planner because I do different events. Some are early, some are late, some are during quote unquote normal business hours. But you have your times when you're on, and then you have to be extremely organized as well, because there's a lot of communication and it is through various sources. I have to be fairly tech savvy because I'm working with partners and I don't know what they're using. And so I have to be able to blend and just work with them to the best of my ability. So I believe being really open is a great thing to have for this job, but also being an empathetic listener so that people are telling you very personal information and asking very personal questions, as Vivian knows as well. And so you are just really trying to help them. And sometimes I think we're part counselor as well, but we understand that finances can be a great thing, and they can also be a source of stress. And so we're just really trying to cut through to help everyone that we chit chat with, to help make the best decisions as possible. And so I'm really proud of that. And I really enjoy the department that I'm in because I literally do something different every single day. So if you don't like doing the same thing every day, this is a great position to have.
Agreed. Went too fast. So like I previously mentioned, getting started in the industry, it really just takes a high school diploma, being 18 years of age, having some type of cash handling experience, typically, minimum of at least 6 months in terms of cash handling. Depending on the role that you're looking for, what your passion is, moving in throughout the organization could require degrees or some equivalent experience to kind of overcome that degree requirement. It all just depends on what you're looking to pursue. It doesn't mean that it needs to be a degree in accounting and finance and business. It could be multiple different types of degrees, or not even one specific type of degree. It could be associates, could be, a bachelor's degree. It all just depends on what you're looking for. But really just to get your kind of foot in the door and your feet wet, diploma, 18 years of age, high school diploma, 18 years of age, and some at least 6 months of cash handling experience will get you into the door. And then you can really take a look and deep dive into all the different areas. I didn't necessarily know that I wanted to be in human resources. I had no indication of that. I loved being in the retail space. I loved working with members. I still do. I loved being in management within the branches. But when I really thought about long term, what I loved doing and what I loved coming into work every day for, it was the team that I got to work with. I built some great relationships with all of my team members that I work with, and I want us to be part of bringing more team members to the organization and being part of recruiting and bringing in additional like-minded people that want to help others, that want to help members grow and the organization grow and really live our philosophy and our mission and our core values. And that was really important to me, and part of the reason why I love coming into work every day. So where I initially thought and saw myself is not where I ended up so far. And I have learned never say that I'm done. And this is going to be the
Oops,
department
I
I'm
think
with
we
for the rest of my
lost
life.
the connection. She may have muted. I'm not sure.
Can you still hear me?
Now I can.
Okay. Sorry if you didn't hear everything. Hopefully it was just a small piece of it, but where you start doesn't necessarily mean where you're going to end up. So just having that starting mindset and really taking the time to learn the different positions and departments and what they do. We have great opportunities that we allow people to shadow and learn different aspects and kind of do rotations and connect with different team members in the role to learn more about what their day-to-day looks like, so you can really understand and go in with a very clear expectation of what a different position is. I know I'm not going to know every single thing about what Shannon does, for example, but I have a pretty good idea, having been working with her for 11 years, having participated with her in events like this and other different types of events. I have a pretty good idea, a solid grasp of what her role is and entails and what that could potentially look like. So I decided to move into consumer education role. I have a good idea of what to expect, whereas if I came from the outside and I jumped into that role, I may not necessarily know too much about it. So an additional piece of getting started in financial institutions is pretty standard within the industry, that your credit is going to be checked. Your credit score may not necessarily be looked at, but your overall credit worthiness and what's on your report is potentially going to be reviewed. I know from or our organization specifically, you do need to have at least 12 months of on-time payment history to be considered for any position within the organization, because as a financial institution, having a strong credit worthiness is very important to ensure that we are able to assist our members, and having that appropriate credit worthiness personally will only help educate our members as well throughout the organization. So that is a piece of the puzzle and something to take into consideration as well, thinking about joining in a career in financial institutions.
So just like many other banks and other credit unions, we do give back to our communities, and we were founded by teachers, and we do give back through classroom cash grants, which are coming up, where teachers can apply to get a $750 grant for their classroom for anything that he or she might need for that classroom. So it could be books, it could be furniture, it could be anything. So we're very proud of that. And then this is just what we do. We have what we call the year of giving back. So each one of our branches, and we have 18 plus now, pick a local business, department, charity, partner, and they give $1,000 to that organization. So here's just a picture. Our main branch picked the Macomb County Sheriff K-9 unit, and so they gave $1,000 to that unit. And obviously we love that because we get to see the dogs and everything, but there's so many different ones that we give back to. We've done library donations after COVID, when all of this, the schools with kids took the books home and, thought it was just going to be for a few weeks. And then when they came back, many of those books did not come back to the school libraries. And that is not a bad thing per se, because now those books are in the home. So that's great. But the libraries were in need. And so last year, we gave over $90,000 to local schools for their libraries or media centers. And we're really, really proud of that, because Again, education is one of our forefronts. We have a team who brings charity opportunities to our team members. We can do walks, we do bake sales, we do different things that we can buy, flowers, and then the proceeds are donated to different organizations. We do basket raffles at our yearly in-service meetings and things like that. And we're really proud of that because we just really want to help different organizations. It's not something that we talk about all the time. We are very proud of our year of giving back, and each of those branches are proud to showcase those local organizations that they work with. So that's one of our big things that we do. And we've also done, like pay local and things of that nature. We don't do national campaigns. Many big national banks will do that. We are really very community based, and we think that that hits home a little bit. I know I'm talking a lot about this, but this is one of the biggest things that my department does. And I've gotten to meet so many different great organizations and people that I also feel very connected to the community that I work and live in. And so it's a great extension to where when I'm going out in logo wear, I will always see somebody that I've met or that I know. So it's a great perk, if you will. Did anyone have any questions for Vivian or for me? I had the chat, but I haven't seen any. Okay, we do have just the next slide is just like basically our branding, and just kind of says a little bit about who we are. You may have seen this on social media or per se. I'm not sure if the commercial will play or the little social media post will play, but I didn't know if anyone had any questions.
I have a quick question. If someone was interested in applying for a position at the credit union, what would be the process?
So they could go to our website, which is msgcu.org/careers, and they can review all the different positions, their locations, and submit an application through that way. And they're gonna, once they complete the application, they'll upload a resume. If they'd like to upload a cover letter, give us kind of a brief overview of their, experiences, their education level. And then they're also going to be consenting to us pulling their credit. So that way we can review their credit and ensure not only are they meeting the minimum requirements that way, but they also meet the minimum requirements for our credit worthiness. And then once that is completed, depending on the position that's applied for, there may be a simulation that they will need to complete as part of the hiring process. Most positions will also require a phone interview where they'll get to speak to me or another member of our talent acquisition team to just learn a little bit more about their experience and their background and what they've done in their past. And then they would move to the next level, which would be an interview with one of the hiring managers. So depending on the role that they're applying for, that may mean one interview, that may mean maybe 2 interviews. Depending on the level of the position as well. And then they'll be communicated with regarding the status of their application once they've kind of gone through those steps. But first step would be to complete an application through our website. It looks like this video is not going to play for us, but I'll share with the group. Being a financial champion, we call ourselves that because we care about helping our members achieve financial success. So we champion them and their goals. We're helping them achieve their goals, and we're uplifting them so they can reach their goals faster without with our market leading rates. We have really amazing rates, very low fees, minimal fees. We give a lot of personal guidance along the way as well. So as Shannon mentioned, she's a certified credit union financial counselor. I'm also a certified credit union financial counselor. All of our branches do have at least 1 to 2 certified credit union financial counselors to help guide members along the way. And we're proud to say that our members love us. You know, with what Shannon shared earlier, with over 95% satisfaction rating for over 20 years, and anyone being able to bank with us, we want to make sure that we're helping, you know, our states, our communities, and putting that out there as financial champions to help ensure that people know we're here to support them through their journey and their finances as well. So that's really our brand promise as financial champions, and what we strive to do with all of our members. Looks like we might have a couple of chats in here as well.
I was putting what you said. I was trying to do a synopsis of msgcu.org and things of that nature.
Beautiful. Thanks, Shannon.
You're welcome. Vivian,
Anything to add with the financial champion? Yep,
how
go ahead.
many people, how many team members do we have? Is it over 400 now?
We are about 420 right now, and we are growing. I anticipate we'll be at least 430-ish by the end of this year. So we continue to grow and prosper.
Thank you. I just wanted people to know that, because again, we can talk about all of these different departments, but you know, I don't know what the smallest quote unquote department is. It might be 5 people, but some of these departments are fairly large, and I don't want people to think it's only 1 or 2 person within a department. So there's actually teams. Our departments are actually teams of people. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great point. Another kind of props to the organization that we recently received, that Forbes actually named us the #2 credit union in Michigan. So, you know, we have our members singing our praises. We have our team members who have voted us the top workplace for 10 years in a row. And we have big organizations like Forbes that have also sang our praises and named us the #2 credit union within Michigan as well. So we have lots of growth all around.
That's true. And then we are very, very cooperative with other institutions. So we work with the other credit unions around, and you know, even other banks around. So I'm a member of the Financial Education Council. We are a member of Money Smart Week. And so we do also work with some national organizations as well. It's just nice to, you know, have that networking piece. We do go to some national conferences as well. So we're very focused around our communities, but we understand the need to also look around the country to just try to be the best that we can be. So I just wanted to put that. But here are our emails, Vivian and mine. If anyone wants to reach out, please feel free. We are more than happy to answer any questions that you might have. Does anyone have any questions for Vivian or me?
Ask away if you have anything. There's never not a dumb question.
There is something in the chat, Vivian.
There we go.
That's a great question.
Yeah, do you want to read the question first?
I'm a master in finance student, looked at several positions online that I'm interested in applying for. What is the time frame that a team member must stay in a current role before applying to the other role?
Yeah, there's really no written rule. Honestly, we don't have a firm timeline of, you know, you must stay in a position for X amount of time before we'll allow you to apply for anything else. It really is going to be dependent on your performance is going to be a big piece of it. And the position that you're applying for, you know, are you going from branch to branch? Or are you going for a completely different department? And do you meet those minimum requirements? So ensuring that you qualify for those positions. And then also, you know, your performance in your current role. Of course, we want people to be successful in their role, have a really strong foundation before they're moving into a different position, because we want to set up everyone for success. But ultimately, there is no hard written in stone rule of how long you need to be in a position before you can apply for a different role. A great question.
Mhm.
Thank you for
welcome.
asking.
I don't know if you mentioned this, forgive me if you did. Did you say you have tuition reimbursement as well for education?
We do offer tuition reimbursement for part-time and full-time team members. It is grade-based, which I found really motivating as somebody who took advantage of it, because I wanted my money back. So I did really well to make sure that I kept my grades up so I could get my reimbursement. But yeah, we do an annual reimbursement up to $5,000 for full-time team members, $2,500 for part-time team members, and again, it's grade-based. So depending on how well you do in your class, you would get that reimbursement, and you can do that every year.
That's great.
And
I
this
love-
isn't grade-based, but we do have a wellness reimbursement as well. So it's
Mhm.
mental and physical wellness that you can do, that I do. And so you can get reimbursed, like a little incentive every month, up to so much, every year, just to stay on top of your physical and mental wellness.
Yeah, based on different activities that you participate in, which could be, you know, I'm gonna do a 30-day water drinking challenge. I'm gonna get X amount of ounces every single day, or I'm gonna do 10,000 steps every day. You can get up to $70 a month in wellness incentives for participating in those different activities. Some of them are really great because it's like getting 8 hours of sleep. I'm like, okay, I can do that.
Yeah, I like those. Reach out to a teammate, say hi. Are there any hybrid positions?
Yeah, so we do have a lot of different positions that do offer a hybrid option. Of course, this will be after training is completed, that you're comfortable in your role. You don't really need as much support in it, but we do have lots of different hybrid roles and opportunities within the organization. Not necessarily the branches, because the branches are member facing, so they're going to be with members. So they do need to be on site, but we have lots of different other positions that offer a hybrid option. Yeah. I do also want to share with the group as well that if anyone needs or is interested in reaching out to me directly to ask any questions about the resume, there any opportunities that are out there as well, I'm happy to help answer any questions for that respect as well. Awesome. I'll look out for your application.
That's the advantage of participating in these lunch and learns.
There you
Directly with
go.
employers. You don't have to just go through the website.
Absolutely.
Any other questions at all? Okay. Any other comments at all that you guys can think of, Shannon or Vivian?
Thank you guys
No.
all for your time and your participation. We really appreciate it. We know it's not
Yes.
always easy coming in during lunch, and we thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you so much for having us. It was a
Yeah.
pleasure meeting everybody.
Thanks for participating.